everybody, this is Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is Sunday, July 16th, 2023, and today my guides wanted me to do a reading on Christopher Wray, but I have some wonderful news for anybody who's been following the story about the woman, Carly Russell, the young woman who was disappeared from her car while stopping to ostensibly try to help a young child who she saw wandering on the freeway. This was in Alabama, and then she disappeared, and all that was left was her car, her wig, and some other, I think her personal items like her cell phone, and it was just so heart-wrenching trying to figure out what happened to her. There was a phone call that she was asking her parents what she should do regarding this child on the road, and whether to get out of her car, but she had to get out of her car to help it. And then some people said that a man in a gray car stopped, and nothing else was ever heard from her. But she was found last night. She was dropped off at her parents' home, and that's all I know. I don't know who dropped her off. I don't think the police did. And there'll be probably more details coming out today, but we're all praying for her, right? And she was found, and she's okay. At least she's alive and intact. She's in the hospital getting evaluated, but I truly believe prayer works, because I was praying for her, and I think thousands and hundreds of thousands, knowing the internet and how many people from all over the world were watching this case, prayed for her, and I'm so glad that she's alive and well, because so often you hear the other, but no, today, good news for anybody else who's following that story. Okay, back to the reading. I use the CIro Marchetti Gilded Tarot from the Easy Tarot Kit, and then we have a oracle card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle Deck by Rassouli. And of course, there is the musical interlude at the end of the reading. My information is below in the description box and at the end of the musical interlude. And please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me in the algorithm for YouTube. I'd love to grow and continue growing. Before I get into this reading, I'm doing opposite day today. I usually say this at the end, but I am available for personal readings, anything in your past life, anything to do with this life, past, present, and future. I'm a medium, and I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. Okay, got that out of the way. So the card that the guides gave me, and for anybody new to my channel, my guides show me psychically the cards. And then I ask them why they picked those cards. I'm doing a simple Celtic cross here. So this is Christopher Wray. He works for the government. He is a conservative and an institutionalist. And he's protecting here his department and running this department, but he's also a protector of the FBI. And he was apparently recommended to Trump by Chris Christie, ex-governor of New Jersey, to replace James Comey, who was fired in, I believe, the summer of 2017. In August 2017, here we have a new director of the FBI. And I asked my guides, well, why did Trump allow this hire? And the guide said that he thought, and his people told him, just assuming, I think, that he was a Republican, but that he had a weak character, that he was corruptible, that he was malleable, that he could be coerced. But that was not the case. The guides say he stood strong in his role and at times had threatened to resign when he was asked to breach his ethics and integrity. This man has been conservative all his life and also worked all his life in law enforcement and for the government. And people wondered, well, why did Joe Biden keep Christopher Wray, who was a Trump appointee and a conservative, a Republican, registered Republican, as the FBI director? But I believe Joe Biden had his reasons for continuity, and because he trusted Christopher Wray. And he didn't want a shakeup. He wanted order, and he wanted a smooth transition. And also, I believe that the head of the FBI has a history of being a Republican. But this is the card that best represents Christopher Wray, according to my guides, the Hierophant. Above, this is the Nine of Wands, and this is a representative of his recent grilling from the Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives regarding his lack of interest in crucifying Hunter Biden for his laptop, amongst other causes that the GOP hold dear to their heart, really think that these are important. And Christopher Wray really just said, this is crazy, he was also accused of planning the January 6th insurrection, and that the FBI really did it. And Christopher Wray, as you can see from the quotes at the beginning, just said, this is bananas, this is insane, what are you talking about? Obviously the FBI isn't perfect, but we have this ethic, we're working for the American people. There's also a lot of police work that they get involved with, helping to augment police searches, all kinds of things the FBI are responsible for. But he staunchly defended his department, and also his intent, ethics, and his loyalty and steadfastness to the rule of law. In the past, the Tower, so this is the January 6th insurrection, and yes, we know there were errant FBI members, corrupt FBI members, but my guides say that they were hidden from Christopher Wray, that he wasn't apprised to, in fact, he was intentionally kept in the dark by certain key members of his staff who worked for Trump, who were like double agents, who were involved in January 6th, but there were really relatively, I want to say there's just a minority. It wasn't, and Christopher Wray, he was manipulated somewhat by his own staff there, the plants of Trump, but he was not involved in this. And underneath, this is Christopher Wray, Eight of Pentacles, and he's just getting to work. He's just a solid straight shooter, and he's working right now on continuing to find people involved in the January 6th coup, riot, whatever you want to call it, and track them down and then bring them up for trial. And there's been hundreds and hundreds that have been caught. Is it over 1,000? And I see on my Twitter feed, I still get notices from the FBI. We haven't found this person yet. Do you recognize him? To disseminate. And they are continuing to track down these people and bring them to justice. And then the FBI just recently, or the Merrick Garland's department, wanted to appeal the sentences of some of these criminals, these insurrectionists who only got or got less than what was recommended, and they want now the sentences to be looked at, and they want the jail time to be increased, the penalties to be increased. But this is truly, these two cards truly represent Christopher Wray. He's a serious man, and he's working as hard as he can to help solve the involvement and how the insurrection happened. And there's so much. but they've done a lot of headway. They've made a lot of headway here in terms of tracking people down and finding out more and more. And that also includes the people in our government, like the the Freedom Caucus people, the people who were involved also allegedly in this insurrection. And I truly believe they will be brought to light. There will be justice coming for them. They're not going to avoid it. It takes longer for them, but I think it's more delicate, but I think it's going to happen. And I think I've done other readings on them that show that in the future there is justice coming for them. It is so awful, though. It's a terrible feeling to watch and to know that these traitors, these Putin henchmen, these Putin employees, I believe, and also the employees of Saudi Arabia and perhaps China, are in our government, and they're working against our country. Hence, you have Senator Tuberville in the Senate holding up funding for our military and our Navy, trying to impose this ultra right-wing agenda on the military, this anti-wokeism. And then you have the House GOP also then adding all these outrageous bills against transgender and against women's reproductive rights. And they are not working for our country. People are wondering, well, why are they holding up essential key appointments for our military and our would the Navy be part of the military, the Navy staff? There's an admiral right now that's waiting to be promoted, but they're not letting him be promoted because Tuberville doesn't want people in the military, women particularly, to have rights to have abortions. And it's crazy making. But if you listen to Vladimir Putin and his speeches, and if you see what he believes in, he is that person. He's anti homosexuality, anti-transgender, anti-women's reproductive rights, anti-wokeism. He is somebody who is for revisionism in the classroom, all of these things, and all of the GOP follow his lead. So we're really looking at a continued insurrection on that level against our country. And the idea that they can go in, somebody like Lauren Boebert or MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and look at secret documents in SCIFs. They're not safe. They're not safe to go in there. So my prayer always is, oh, please let us take the House back and let it be strong, not just a small majority, but a huge majority. So we have to continue keeping our eye on the prize for 2024. Because it's really, really important. All these elections are important. This one really is just as important and in some ways impactful in ways maybe the others weren't, which is to swing more and more people to the Democratic Party, or to get at least the Democratic Party in solidly so they can really do their stuff, because there's some good stuff that they want to do. Okay, so in the future, justice, and I think I was just talking about that, bringing justice, continuing to bring justice to the United States regarding the January 6th insurrectionists and anybody involved in the attempted takeover of our government. We are going to continue seeing justice, and this is what Christopher Wray is working for. More trials, more sentences, and higher up. The clarifying card here is the Chariot, and this is just moving forward. This isn't being stalled. This isn't being kind of like wishy-washy in terms of Christopher Wray's work. He is moving forward, following the rule of law, and where that leads. And the outcome is judgment. So here we see judgment coming down, and everybody getting judgment regarding their role in trying to topple our government. This is a great card for the future for us. We're going to see it. We're going to see justice, and we're going to see judgment where we really need to see it to save our country. Because we have been in a war, and I've said this before, but there's a continuing feeling of trauma that we are under attack, but we're under attack. It's a Trojan horse situation. We're under attack from within. But we have our checks and balances, and we do have this continuing forward motion of the FBI and Merrick Garland to bring us back into balance. So I know you're thinking at the moment, well, what about the Supreme Court? I have done readings about that in the past, and I'll continue to do readings about that. Somehow that's going to swing into balance too. Maybe in the near future I'll do another reading on the Supreme Court. So much corruption amongst the conservatives, just mind-blowing. And remember that Vladimir Putin wants us to doubt our government. They want us to doubt the FBI. They want us to get into this, like, what deep state think, whatever that means. It's really deep state, what is it? The bureaucracy that keeps our government running. So be wary of that. Be wary of unchecked paranoia and suspicion. You have a right to be suspicious, even paranoid if you wish, but Vladimir Putin is counting on that. He wants to destroy our faith in democracy so that we're more liable to accept an authoritarian government. That is his plan, and he's been attempting to do that for a long time, and Trump was his it's like his battering ram that he thought would lead him to complete takeover, which thank goodness it has not. But we're still battling the war on our own perception of our democracy. Okay, that is my reading on Christopher Wray. And the oracle card that was given to us by the guides is Return to Joy. We are here to experience joy. It always starts out with a little poem from a Sufi poet, and this is from Rumi. O Sufi disciples of the moment, roses are blooming and the nightingale is drunk. It is a call to ecstasy. In the wilderness of my gloom, the moment is the instant when you shower rain upon me from the cloud of mercy. Trusting in the divine plan and knowing we should enjoy every moment of our life are the first steps towards freedom from mental and spiritual pain. We all have bad days, even weeks, when we fall down on our ability to be happy. No matter how long we live, if we cannot enjoy our prosperity, we are refusing the divine gift of life. Dear one, life can be hard. But happy people are those who tend to move through hard times with an attitude of clarity versus victimhood. Unhappy people are those who see themselves as victims of life. They see what has happened to them rather than finding their way through it and out of it. Concentrating on what's wrong in this world versus what's right does not lead to a happy life. There is no escape from experiencing fear and worry at times, but make an important distinction between feeling it and living it. You might be so caught up in achieving your next goal, the next item on your to-do list, that you forget how wonderful life truly is. As Rumi suggests, concentrate on living in the now. Create a dream about the future also. This is how you become excited about something you are working on, grateful for what you have, and are able to dream about the possibilities of life. Mantra. I am here in this world to experience joy. I dedicate a portion of every day to turning off all technology and slowing the pace of life. I celebrate the present moment and I live in gratitude. Return to joy. I will be back next week. Be well, my friends. Bye-bye.